I think it looks like we're at 4 o'clock, so I'm gonna go ahead and make sure everyone's muted if you're not already. I got you covered. And then go ahead and start to settle into your mats. I'm sure you're already there, but take a few moments now to just get comfortable, focusing on your physical body first. So making any adjustments you need, maybe straightening the legs, bending the legs, maybe even doing a couple little stretches before you come into stillness. Sometimes you feel like you just need to roll your shoulders or twist a little bit. So do whatever is going to help you feel comfortable as you start to come into that stillness. And as you make your way into that shape that feels comfortable for you, maybe take a really nice deep breath in through the nose. Just like sigh it out, let it go through the mouth. Because like we were saying, this has been a busy week, a busy few months, a busy year. It's been crazy. It's been heavy at times. I know I felt it this week, a lot of heaviness. So that's really when it's important for us to come to our mats so that we can kind of regroup, recollect, come back to our breath, come back to the present moment, and just kind of slow down a little bit. Sometimes it's really easy to get carried away in the pace of what's going on around us. The world moves quickly, but we can slow down just by coming to our mats. So I invite you to do that today. Slow down a little bit. So as you start to find that comfortable shape in the physical body, go ahead and start to turn the focus inward, beginning to notice the thoughts that might be going through your mind, noticing how you're feeling, maybe where you're holding tension in your shoulders or your jaw. See if you can start to let some of that go, relax some of that, or at least bring awareness to it so that you can focus on it throughout your practice today and maybe gradually start to create that letting go, that relaxation. Starting to bring your awareness to your breath. So following the breath as it comes in through the nose, filling up the lungs, the chest, the stomach, creating that expansion. And then as you exhale, letting it go. Maybe counting to 4 each time you breathe in, a nice slow 4. And then a nice slow 4 as you let it back out. And as you start to slow down the breath, notice that calming sensation that starts to come over the whole body just by breathing. Before we start to move a little bit, I invite you to set an intention for your practice. And we always do this at the beginning of class. It's a great way to sort of create a focus for your class. Why did you come to your mat today? What do you need? What are you working on? And I think this week more than ever, that's an important thing. So decide what it is that you need right now. Is it simply to breathe? Is it a little healing, a little patience, a little understanding? Maybe you're feeling good and that's great. Maybe you want to send something out to someone else, maybe love or healing. Whatever resonates with you, let that be your intention. I always like to throw out the option of breathing. Breathing is a fantastic intention. If nothing more, focus on your breath. So once you have that intention set, take one more breath. And then we're going to start to make our way into a full body stretch. So go ahead and reach the arms overhead. If they're not there already, straighten out your legs. Maybe rolling out the wrist, rolling out the ankles, wiggling the fingers and the toes, all those little movements that feel really good. A little side to side movement if you like. And then on the next inhale, let's draw both knees in towards the stomach, wrapping your arms around your shins as you give yourself a little hug. So you're starting to curl up into a little bit of a ball. And then taking any movement that feels good in this ball. You can rock side to side. You can make circles with the knees. Or maybe you stay still and just feel that connection with the spine on the mat. From the base of your tailbone all the way up the neck, feel that connection with the earth beneath you. And then we're all going to find a twist. So bringing your arms out to either side of you, extending them wide, let the knees start to release to the right side of you. You can take your gaze over to the left side so that you're looking away from your knees. Or if that feels like a lot, maybe you just look up towards the ceiling. You can also bring a hand to that left thigh and kind of massage the leg a little bit if that feels good. And just take 2 or 3 breaths here, relaxing the shoulders, allowing the center of the body to twist a little bit. And then slowly starting to draw the knees back through center, and we'll take it over to the other side. So the legs are coming to the left, your gaze is coming to the right, or maybe it's staying up towards the ceiling. And again, just taking 2 or 3 breaths here. On the next inhale, the knees can come back through center again, bringing your hands behind your thighs. Chin tucks in towards the chest as you start to rock your way to a seated position. You can take a couple rocks forwards and backwards if that feels good. For some people that doesn't feel good, so just come right up to a seated position. Slide a blanket or a pillow under your hips if that helps you feel a little more comfortable as you sit. And then go ahead and start to sit up really nice and tall. So maybe rocking side to side a little bit to kind of ground down on your tailbone, your sits bones. And then feel that length coming up the spine as the shoulders relax, as the chin lifts up a little bit. Bringing your hands to your knees. And then let's start with a couple twists or a couple circles. So as you inhale, start to release the chest forward, circling the body all the way around. So I always like to encourage people to move in whatever way feels good for you here. So the idea is that you're just kind of moving. Moving is really powerful for kind of working through any sort of feelings of stuckness, maybe mentally, maybe physically, just moving. So do what feels right. Circle, maybe pause, take a breath, circle in the other direction. And then once you've taken a couple circles in both directions, you can start to make your way back through center. On the next inhale, lifting the arms overhead. As you exhale, the left fingertips come to the mat. The right arm reaches long to the left side. So you're lengthening through the whole right side of the body, pressing that right hip down, looking up towards the ceiling under that right arm. Think about getting as long as you can on the right side of the body. When you breathe, imagine that that breath is filling up the right rib cage under the right arm. And on the next inhale, lift it all the way back up, get a little taller. As you exhale over to the opposite side, the right hand comes down, the left fingertips reach. So now you're getting really long on the left side of the body. And we'll take about 2 or 3 breaths there. Go ahead. And on the next inhale, we'll start to come all the way back through center, reaching the arms up towards the sky again. And then we're going to twist to the right. So the right hand is going to come behind you. The left hand is going to come to the right knee. So use that connection with the left hand on the right knee to kind of press yourself into a twist. So pressing into that knee and then seeing if you can look behind you or over that right shoulder. Take a breath in and see if you can sit up a little taller. And then as you exhale, twist even further. And then on the next inhale, go ahead and lift the arms back up overhead. As you exhale, take it to the left side. So the right hand comes to the left hip, the left left knee, and the left hand comes behind you. Same thing as you did on the other side. Take a breath in, sit up really nice and tall, and then exhale, twist. Looking over that left shoulder. And then again, inhale back through center, lifting those arms one more time. This time as you exhale, hands walk away from you as you fold forward. Coming down as far as it feels comfortable for you. If you've been in my classes before, you know I do this one a lot. I think it really just helps get into the back of the body. It doesn't matter how far down you are folding. It could be 1 inch. You could have your nose on the mat. It doesn't matter. The idea is that you're breathing into the back of the body, creating a little bit of space. Each time you inhale, the back gets longer. Each time you exhale, you fold a little bit further forward. Letting the head become heavy as it relaxes between the shoulders. And then slowly starting to walk the hands back towards the body as you come back up to a seated position. Bring the soles of the feet together. Interlace your hands under your toes. Take a breath in to lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, start to fold forward. Think about bringing your chest to your toes. You can press your elbows into your shins. And then on the next inhale, slowly start to lift it all the way back up. Let's extend the right leg long, bring the left foot into the right inner thigh, flex through the right toes. Take a breath in, arms lift overhead. As you exhale, fold over that right leg. Maybe bending the right knee a little bit if that feels good. Maybe massaging the back of the leg. Slowly starting to lift the upper body up. Let's do one more twist while we're sitting here. So the left foot is going to come to the outside of the right knee. Left hand is going to come to the side of the mat. As you inhale, the right arm lifts up. As you exhale, hook that right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Same thing as we did when our legs were crossed. You're using that connection with the elbow to the knee to kind of deepen that twist a little bit. So inhaling, sitting up taller. Exhaling, twisting a little further. Think about that twist starting at the base of the spine all the way at the back. So rather than turning your head as far as you can and just twisting your neck a lot, think about twisting the whole spine. And then slowly unraveling. Let's go in the opposite direction just for a breath so the left elbow can come to the left knee. The right hand can come behind you. And then as you come back through center, extend the left leg. You can kind of tap the backs of both legs on the mat. And then start to draw the left foot into the right foot into the left inner thigh. Flex through the left toes. As you inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, fold over that left leg. Same thing as you did on the other side. Maybe there's a bend in that knee. Maybe there's a little massage going on for the back of the leg. Whatever helps warm up that leg and feels a little more loose, a little more relaxed, do that. And then slowly starting to lift all the way back up. We'll take that right foot to the outside of the left knee. The right hand comes to the side of the body, and as you inhale, the left arm lifts up. As you exhale, twist to the right, hooking that left elbow on the outside of the right knee. Take a breath in, see if you can sit a little taller, and then exhale, twist it a little deeper. And then slowly coming back through center, taking it over to the other side for just a breath. Right elbow comes to right knee, left hand comes behind you. And we'll come back through center, extend both legs, shake them out a little bit, and then make your way into a tabletop position. So coming onto your hands and knees. The wrists are below the shoulders, the knees are below the hips, the back is nice and flat like a tabletop. And then as you inhale, release the stomach down, take the gaze up. Starting to move through your cat and cow. As you exhale around the back, press the ground away from you, and then continue to move here with your breath. So keeping that up and down movement if that feels good. Maybe rocking the hips from side to side a little bit, shaking the head, yes or no. It can even be circles. It could be a little child's pose. Whatever feels good for the back of the body. Just start to connect that breath with the movement. So each time I inhale, I'm lengthening. Each time I exhale, I'm pressing the ground away from you. And starting to come back through a neutral spine. Once you finish the round that you're on, we're going to extend the right foot long, keeping the right toes tucked. Just gently pressing yourself forwards and backwards, stretching through the bottom of the right foot. The toes are on the mat. As you press forward, you're kind of pressing the head to the top of the mat and then press your heel behind you. That makes sense. And then coming back through stillness, go ahead and lift the right leg, point the toes towards the back of the room. As you inhale, draw the knee towards your nose, give that knee a kiss. Exhale, extend it long, and we'll do that 2 more times with our breath. Inhale, draw the knee forward. Exhale, send it back. 1 more time, knee to nose. Exhale, send it back. We're going to come to a modified side plank. So the left foot is just going to slide off your mat a little bit. The right foot is going to come down to the mat. the right fingertips are gonna lift up and reach towards the top of your mat. So you're lengthening the whole right side of your body here. The left knee stays down to kind of support you a little bit. And then think about getting a little longer, a little taller on the right side of the body. Pressing those hips up. And then if it feels good, start to make giant circles with the right arm. So as big as you can, really getting into that right shoulder socket. Take a couple circles in one direction, and then going back in the opposite direction. And then you can slowly start to close it off, coming back to your tabletop position. We'll extend the left foot long, keeping those toes tucked at first. Go ahead and press yourself forwards and backwards. So think about stretching through the bottom of the foot and the back of the leg. It should feel good on your ankle as well. And then coming back through stillness, the left leg lifts, point the toes towards the back of the room. As you inhale, draw that left knee to your nose. Exhale, send it back. 2 more times. Inhale, draw that knee forward, round the back. Exhale, send it back. 1 last time, knee to nose. Exhale, send it back. And then find that modified side plank. So the right foot slides off the mat, left foot grounds down, left fingertips lift up and reach towards the top of your mat. So now you're lengthening through the whole left side of your body. Press those left hips up, or that left hip up. And then maybe giant circles with the left arm if it feels good for your shoulder. So as big as you can, start to circle that left arm. And back in the opposite direction. And then we'll start to close that off, coming back into your tabletop position just for a breath reset. And then we'll make our way into our first downward facing dog. So when you're ready, go ahead, tuck your toes, straighten your legs as you send your hips up and back. Start to move here as much as you like. I always like to start with my feet and then work my way up. So lifting up one heel at a time and then kind of pressing it back down. Bend your knees a little bit and straighten them. Rock your hips from side to side a little bit. Shake your head yes and no as you relax through the shoulders. And on the next inhale, we're going to roll forward into a plank position. So drawing the shoulders over the wrists. Go ahead and check your alignment here. See if you need to make any adjustments. Your tailbone is tucked under. Your belly button is sucking up towards your spine. As you exhale, back to your downward facing dog. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhale, roll forward to your plank. Nice strong core. As you exhale, find your downward facing dog. And 1 more time. Inhale, roll it forward, plank position. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Now taking your gaze towards your hands, start to walk your feet to the top of the mat. So coming to a forward fold all the way to the top of your mat. Take as many steps as you need to get there. Your feet can be about shoulder width or a little wider. And then just find a forward fold that feels comfortable for you. Bending your knees often feels good here. Take some of the pressure off the base of the spine. Maybe you hold on to opposite elbows and sort of rock from side to side a little bit. You can bring your hands behind the head and sort of use the hands to draw the head down, like a little extra weight on the head. You can move, you can stay still, whatever feels good for you. Just allow gravity to draw the upper half of the body down. And then slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time, we'll start to lift it all the way up. Being mindful not to go too fast and get dizzy as you reach your arms overhead. Take a little back bend. And then we're going to interlace the hands. Press the palms up towards the ceiling. Relax the shoulders. Bring the soles of the feet together, or the feet right next to each other. And then as you exhale, we're going to lean over to the left side so that you're lengthening the whole right side of the body. Kind of like we did in our side plank. Think about getting as long as you can on the right side of the body. And then as you inhale, come back up through center. Exhale over to the left side, the right side. So you're lengthening the left side of the body. rolling that left shoulder open and back. Inhale back up through center. We're going to take our hands to the base of your spine, right behind your back, kind of where your back pockets would be. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to kind of bend back. So you can kind of press your hips forward, bend back so that you're really opening up the heart, the chest, as much as it feels comfortable for you. And that's going to be different for everyone. Some people feels good to bend back a lot. For other people, a little bit is enough. So see what feels good. Maybe let your head release back. The idea is that you're just taking a nice deep breath, opening up through the heart. And then slowly lift it all the way back up. Let's reach the arms back overhead. Bringing the hands together, so a little prayer pose overhead as you inhale. As you exhale, we're going to fold forward. On the next inhale, lift up halfway, so flat back, hands come to your shins. As you exhale, fold again. On the next inhale, lift all the way up, reach the arms overhead, maybe that little back bend if it feels good, and we'll do the whole thing again. So as you exhale, dive it right back down, forward fold. Take a breath in as you bring your hands to your shins, flat back. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, lifts it all the way up, arms overhead. We'll move through that again. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shins, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. This time we're going to come into our downward facing dog. So you're going to bring your hands to the mat, start to walk your feet back to the back of your mat. Good. On the next inhale, roll it forward into your plank position. Shoulders come over the wrists, tailbone tucks. Bring your knees down to the mat, and then like a reverse push-up, lower yourself all the way down onto the mat, using the arms to kind of slowly guide you there. So your hands are under your shoulders. On the next inhale, we're going to lift up into a baby cobra. So just a couple inches off the mat, you can lift your fingertips up. Think about pressing the shoulder blades together. Then go ahead and bring your hands to the mat. Press the hips up and back into a child's pose. So the hips are coming to the heels, the toes are together, the knees are apart. We're just going to take a breath here, and then we're going to come back here in a moment and we'll stay a little longer. So for this first child's pose, we're going to make our way right back into our downward facing dog. Go ahead and tuck your toes, straighten your legs, send the hips up and back. And we're going to move through that whole little flow again. So on the next inhale, roll it forward into your plank position. You're going to bring your knees down to the mat. And then again, slow and controlled, lower yourself all the way down through that reverse push-up. This time you have the option, you can do that baby cobra again, or if it feels comfortable for your back, maybe you press your hands into the mat and lift yourself up a little higher. Be mindful of your back here. If it does not feel comfortable for your back, you don't want to do it because then it's not good for your back. So you're lifting up as high as it feels comfortable. Remembering to breathe through it. Sometimes we come into a challenging pose and we hold our breath and we force it. That's not where we want to be. Go ahead and start to lower yourself all the way back down. Press the hands into the mat. Find your child's pose again. So hips come up and back to the heels. This time we'll settle in here for a couple breaths. So the toes are together, the knees are apart. Your hands can be wherever it feels comfortable. Maybe that's right at the top of the mat where they were. Maybe you stack your hands, rest your head on the backs of your hands. Or another option is to bring your fingertips near your toes so that you're reaching behind you. That takes a little pressure off your shoulders. So see what feels comfortable for you. We're going to take about 2 or 3 more breaths in this child's pose. If your hands are not at the top of the mat already, go ahead and start to walk the fingertips forward, making your way back to your downward facing dog by tucking your toes, straightening your legs, send those hips up and back. Take your gaze towards your hands, start to walk the feet forward, coming back to that forward fold at the top of your mat. Take a halfway lift for space, so nice flat back as you inhale. As you exhale, fold. On the next inhale, lift it all the way up, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, hands can come to the sides of your body. So standing up nice and tall, relax the shoulders. We're gonna come into our first warrior one. So you're gonna come to the top of your mat, you're gonna step that left foot back just about all the way to the back of your mat. That left foot is at a 45-degree angle. Your hips are facing forward. Take a breath in as you lift your arms up. As you exhale, bend into that right knee. Really press to the outer edge of the left foot. See if you can bend that front knee a little more. Maybe you need to slide your foot even further forward so that that knee can bend as much as it needs. Press that left hip forward. From here, we're going to take our hands behind the back, interlace your hands right behind your tailbone. Take a breath in, try to press the hands away from you, puff up the chest a little bit. So you're kind of pressing your shoulders behind you as you inhale. As you exhale, you're going to start to fold forward. Think about bringing your right shoulder towards your right knee. The top of the head can be reaching down towards the mat, or it can be pressing forward. This is called humble warrior. On the next inhale, slowly lifting back up. You can straighten that right leg, and then we're gonna step the left foot back up to the top of the mat to meet the right. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So the right foot is gonna step really far back now. Left toes are facing forward. Your right foot is about a 45-degree angle. Take a breath in as you lift the arms up. As you exhale, bend into that left knee, relax the shoulders. Good, warrior one. And then we're gonna go ahead and find that humble warrior again. So the hands are gonna interlace behind the back. See if you can take that opposite thumb on top. So the one that feels a little uncomfortable. Take a breath in as you puff up the chest, press the hips back. As you exhale, start to fold forward. Left shoulder comes towards the left knee. Top of the head reaches forward or maybe down towards the mat. That left knee continues to bend. If holding the hands feels very uncomfortable, you can also hold opposite elbows. I didn't say that on the other side, but that's an option as well, just to hold onto your elbows behind the back. And then slowly go ahead and lift it all the way up, straighten that left leg, step the right foot up to meet the left, and shake it out a little bit. Let it go. Good. On the next inhale, we'll reach the arms up overhead. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale to prepare. Exhale is going to walk us back to downward facing dog. Go ahead and step the feet to the back of the mat. Find your downward facing dog. And then on the next inhale, the right leg lifts for a three-legged dog. Point the toes towards the back of the room. We're coming into our low lunge or Anjaneyasana. So as always, if you prefer to come here from your knees, you can. Otherwise, you're going to draw the right knee forward, almost like you're giving that knee a kiss. And then you're going to step that right foot in between your hands. Left knee comes down, untuck the toes so that left leg is on the mat. And then as you exhale, straighten the right leg, press the hips back and fold over that right leg. This is a great pose to grab two blocks or two books or something to bring the ground a little closer to you if it's not so comfortable to have your hands on the mat. And then we're going to start to move here a little bit. So as you inhale, press the hips forward, lift the upper body up. Think about pressing that left hip down towards the ground. As you exhale, press the hips back, fold over that right leg. Go ahead and take a couple more rounds like this. But the important thing is that you're stretching in a way that feels good. So if it feels more comfortable to pause in either of these positions, go ahead and do that. Just take a couple of breaths wherever it feels good. If the movement is what feels good, then keep doing that. The next time you come forward, we're going to make our way into our Anjaneyasana or the crescent moon pose. So think about making crescent moon shape with the body. So the hands can come to the knees, relax the shoulders, or the hands can reach up towards the sky. Take a breath, press those hips down, open up through the front of the body. And then slowly bringing your hands back to frame out that right foot. We're going to tuck the left toes, straighten the left leg. So you're in a low lunge now. That left hand is going to stay down. Actually, Actually, both hands are gonna stay down as you stay in your left lunge. And then we're gonna start to lift ourselves up to a high lunge. So this is gonna take a little balancing work. So give it a try. Maybe you bring your hands to your knee first and then lift it all the way up. There we go. That was a tough one. So give yourself some grace. We're gonna bring our arms into a cactus pose, so bending your elbows on either side of you. And then go ahead and bring the hands together. We're gonna cross the right arm on top of the left. Bring the backs of the hands together, or bring your hands to your shoulders if that feels more comfortable. So either backs of hands or shoulders. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, we're gonna lean forward again, kind of like we did before in our humble warrior, except this time the hands have that little interlace going on. Good. So now that we've been bending into that right leg for a while, go ahead and bring the hands back down to the mat and step it back to your your downward facing dog. That was a challenging little flow. So do the best you can with it. Give it a shot. If you need to modify it or take a break, that is fine. You know where we're going on this next side. So on the next inhale, lift the left leg, point the toes towards the back of the room. Then as you look forward, start to draw that left leg forward. Step the left foot in between your hands. If you need to come down onto your knee to get it there, go ahead. Actually, we're all coming down onto our knee, so go ahead and lower that right knee down, untap the toes. As you exhale, send the hips back, fold over that left leg. And go ahead and flow here a couple times. Moving forwards and backwards, maybe a little side to side, whatever feels good for those hips, go ahead and do that. Next time you come forward, we'll start to come into our Anjaneyasana. So pressing the hips forward, starting to lift the upper body up. Your hands can come to your knees, or they can reach all the way up towards the sky. Relax the shoulders, take the gaze up towards the hands. Crescent moon pose. And then slowly starting to bring your hands back to frame out the foot. So now we're going for that little challenging lunge again. So we're gonna tuck the right toes straight in the right leg. Your hands are staying on the mat first. And then slowly with control, you're gonna lift the upper body up. If that means coming into a high lunge another way, that's fine too. If you need to kind of come to your knees and then come here, go ahead. Once you're in your high lunge, find those cactus arms again, bend the elbows. This time the left arm is gonna come on top of the right. So backs of the hands come together, or maybe you hold on to your shoulders, giving yourself that little hug. Wherever you are, take a breath in, lift up through the upper body, and then as you exhale again, fold forward. Think about pressing the top of the head forward, reaching the fingertips forward, or the elbows if you have that hug, either way. Continuing to bend into that left knee. Not allowing that left knee to go over your ankle. That's important. We want to be gentle with that knee, mindful not to injure it. And then go ahead and bring your hands back down to the mat, frame out that left foot, and then we'll step it back to our downward facing dog. As always, you can come to your knees before you get to your down dog, if that helps. Good. Take your gaze towards your hands. Go ahead and walk the feet back towards the top of the mat. Take a little halfway lift, lengthen through the back of the body, and then exhale as you fold. On the next inhale, lift it all the way up, come to standing. Exhale, let the hands release to the sides of the body, shake it out a little bit. Hot outside today, I know I can feel it. Feels like hot yoga in here. So we're going to come into a warrior two now. You're gonna step the left foot to the back of your mat. Parallel to the back of your mat, your right foot is facing forward, your hips are facing the left side of your mat, so your hips are sideways. Take a breath in as you lift your arms up. As you exhale, bend into that right knee. So you're looking at your front middle finger of that right hand. Shoulders are relaxed. On the next breath, we're gonna flip the right palm so it's facing up towards the ceiling. Reach the right fingertips forward to create some space and some length. And then as you exhale, we're gonna come into our peaceful warrior. The left hand comes to the left leg, and that right finger, the right hand starts to reach behind you. See if you can continue to bend into the right leg as you stretch through the right side of the body. On the next breath, we're gonna come into an extended side angle. So you have two options here. That right elbow can come to the right knee or towards the right knee, and then the left arm is gonna reach overhead, almost like you're trying to bring the left shoulder towards your left ear. So you're reaching the left fingertips towards the top of the mat. A more challenging option is to bring the right hand down towards the mat. That's a really deep pose. So I always suggest right shoulder to right knee. On the next inhale, slowly start to lift it back up to your warrior two. Let's straighten the right leg and then go ahead and step it back to the top of your mat. Shake it out a little, let it go. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So this time, the right foot is stepping all the way to the back of the mat. The left toes are facing forward. Take a breath in as you lift the arms up. As you exhale, bend into that left knee. Maybe adjusting a little bit so that that left knee is staying above the left ankle. Take a breath. Flip the left palm and then reach the fingertips forward so you're creating that length. And then as you exhale, left hand comes up and over and the right hand comes to the back leg. So think about lengthening through the whole left side of your body, looking at that arm as you continue to bend into that left knee. And now let's come to our extended side angle. So the left elbow is gonna come down to the left knee. The right fingertips reach to the top of your mat now. Think about bringing the right shoulder to your ear. Think about creating a long line on the whole right side of the body. So from the fingers to the toes, you're creating as straight of a line as possible. On the next inhale, lift it back up to your warrior two. And then you can go ahead and straighten that foot and step back to the top of your mat. Shake it out a little bit. And then find a stance where your feet are about mat's width, so a little wider than your hips. Take a breath in as you lift your arms overhead. As you exhale, fold it forward. Take your little peace fingers, so your two first fingers minus your thumb, and wrap them around your big toes. Bend as much as you need to get there, so you can have a really deep bend in your knees. I like to bend my knees here. I think it feels comfortable. And then as you inhale, try to straighten the legs just a little bit so that you're creating a nice stretch through the back of the body, almost like you're pulling on your toes and that's keeping you from standing up. So feeling a nice stretch in the back of the body. If your elbows are bending a little bit, let them bend behind you. You can rock your hips from side to side. Shake your head yes or no, or you can just stay still. See what feels good. We're going to come into a little twist from here. So you can go ahead and let your hands go. Take your left fingertips, place them in front of your left toes. Put as much of a bend in that left knee as you need to bring that hand to the mat. And then as you inhale, the right arm is going to lift up towards the sky. And you're looking up towards that right hand, so you're twisting open to the right. And then slowly bringing that right hand back down to the mat in front of the right toes. Put a bend in that right knee, and we'll take it over to the other side. As you inhale, the left arm is going to lift. Take the gaze up towards that left hand. And then slowly bringing that left hand back down to the mat. Kind of shake your hips out from side to side a little bit. And then on the next inhale, slowly lift it all the way back up. Reach the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to the sides of the body. Let's do a little balance. I think we've been doing tree pose a lot, so let's do a dancer this time. So we're going to find a nice firm foundation on the left foot. You're going to take your right foot, the top of your right foot, in your right hand. Your left hand can reach up towards the sky. If you want to use a wall for support, have the wall on your left side so that you can kind of reach onto that wall if you need, or lean against it if you need. So you're balancing already. You're on one foot. If this feels like enough, stay right here. If you're ready to add on, you're going to think about pressing the right foot away from the body. And as you press the right foot away from you, you naturally start to lean forwards a little bit. Think about your body like a seesaw. So you're pressing that right leg up, the upper body comes down. Good. So this is where that wall comes in handy. If you feel wobbly, you can grab that wall with the left hand. See if you can hold for about 2 or 3 more breaths. If you need to come out of it, that's fine. Come right back into it. Just keep giving it a try. Good. And then slowly come all the way back up through center. Go ahead and release that right foot. Shake out the standing leg a little bit, and then we'll do it on the other side. If you're using that wall, turn around so that the right side is facing the wall now. The right arm lifts up. The left hand grabs the top of that left foot. And same thing, you want to find your balance here first. Once you feel comfortable on one leg, then you can start folding into it a little bit. So pressing that left foot away from the body, almost thinking back bend here. You're creating a little arch in the back. And then start to press the upper body forward. See if you can hold that for 2 or 3 more breaths. And then slowly lifting it all the way back up. Go ahead and bring the foot back down to the mat. Shake it out a little bit. Let it go. Good. Coming back to stand at the top of your mat. Take a breath in as you lift the arms up. As you exhale, fold it forward. We're going to walk it back to our downward facing dog. So go ahead and step the feet back to the back of the mat again. We're going to start to make our way into our pigeon pose. So option to come to your knees first if you like, or from your down dog, you can lift that right leg, start to bring the right knee behind the right wrist. So if you're doing it from your knees, same thing, just start to slide that right knee behind the right wrist. The top of the left foot presses into the mat. Then you're going to take your time as you set yourself up here. So the idea is that weight is even on both hips. So maybe you draw that right foot a little closer to the body. Make sure that right foot is nice and flexed. And then slowly starting to lower the upper body down onto your mat. Maybe you grab a pillow or a book or something to rest your head on. You can also stack your fists, rest your forehead on the fists. Something so that you can relax through the shoulders and the neck and you're not supporting the head. You can allow the body to start to lower all the way down. And we're just going to hold this for about 5 to 7 breaths. So as we start to slow down, start to notice where you are now. Notice what thoughts might be going through your mind. Notice what you're feeling. If something doesn't feel comfortable, maybe you make an adjustment, or maybe you just breathe through it. There's different kinds of discomfort. If it's something that's sharp and painful, we don't want that. That would be a time to kind of make a modification or an adjustment. But if it's just something that's slightly tight or uncomfortable, those are the things that we can breathe through. So sending your breath to the hips, to the shoulders, allowing the back of the body to start to relax a little further. And then slowly starting to walk the hands back towards you as you press the upper body up. Option to come back to your down dog or option to come back to a tabletop position. So whichever feels more comfortable, that right knee can either slide back to your tabletop or you come back to your down dog. Either way, that left leg is going to lift this time as we start to make our way into our pigeon on the other side. So the left knee is going to start to slide behind the left wrist. The top of the right foot kind of walks away from the body as you press the top into the mat. Rock a little side to side on your hips, maybe sliding a blanket or a pillow under that left hip. That'll take a lot of the pressure off that hip if you feel like you're leaning a lot to the left side. And then slowly start to lower yourself all the way down, grabbing that additional block or pillow to rest your head on if you'd like, or just use your fists. You can also bend your elbows and kind of rest your chin in your hands if you don't have something tall enough. And then slowly starting to walk the hands back towards the body as you press the upper body up, making your way back to your down dog or back to your tabletop. Either one is fine. And then we're all going to meet in a seated position. So from wherever you are, you can start to lower yourself all the way down onto your mat. And we're going to come to a wide-legged seated position. So go ahead and create like a V shape with your legs, flexing through the toes. You can kind of rock side to side a little bit to sort of ground down through the tailbone. And then interlacing your hands, we're going to start to make giant circles with the upper body. So imagine that you have a big pot or bowl in between your legs and you're kind of stirring it like a huge bowl. And going back in the opposite direction. And then on the next inhale, let's come back up through center. As you exhale, we're going to fold forward. This is never a favorite pose for most people, so be gentle with yourself here. Even if it's just a couple inches, that's okay. Walking the hands away from you. Each time you inhale, see if you can get a little longer through the spine. Each time you exhale, see if you can relax through the shoulders, folding a little further forward, continuing to flex through the bottoms of the feet. So like you're trying to point your toes towards you. That'll keep it nice and active. And then slowly walking your hands back towards your body. Go ahead and take your hands and just gently press the legs back together, continuing to flex through the bottoms of the feet. Take a breath in as you reach your arms up, and this time let's fold over both legs together. So seated forward folds. If a little bend in the knee feels good, go ahead and do that. If it feels good to massage the backs of the legs, do that as well. We're all going to take a breath and lift up halfway. So as you inhale, straighten the spine. As you exhale, fold a little bit further, using that extra little space you just created to come a little bit deeper into the stretch. And on the next inhale, slowly starting to lift back up through center, and then slide so that your feet are at the top of your mat. Extend your arms out long in front of you, and then one vertebrae at a time, you'll start to slide yourself or lower yourself all the way down onto your mat. You can reach your arms overhead once you get there. Take a deep breath in, one more cleansing breath. As you exhale out the mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Hands can start to make their way to the sides of the body as we prepare for our back bend. So bending the knees, bringing the feet to the base of your spine. We're going to do 2 back bends today. So when you're ready, start to take a breath in and lift the hips up off the mat, pressing the hips towards the ceiling. Hands can continue to press into the mat, or your shoulders can roll under the body and let your hands interlace under the tailbone. So see which feels more comfortable. Either one, you're really focusing on that bend in the spine. Also engaging the legs, so your legs aren't kind of bending out to either side, your legs are engaged and strong. Take a deep breath into the front of your body. And then slowly start to lower the spine back down onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Once your tailbone touches, you can let your knees rock from side to side a little bit. And we're going to do that same thing again. So when you're ready, go ahead and set yourself up. Take a breath in. Start to press the hips up towards the sky. Hands can interlace if you did so before and it felt good. Shoulders can shimmy under you a little bit. See if you can press those hips up just a little higher. And then again, slowly one vertebrae at a time, the body lowers back down onto the mat. The knees can rock from side to side. And then we're going to make our way into our inversion. So coming over to a wall, if you like to use the wall and extend your legs up the wall. If you'd rather do it without the wall or you don't have a wall, you're just going to reach your feet up towards the sky. Hands or a block or a pillow or a blanket, something can come under your hips, under your tailbone to kind of support them. and then the feet are gonna start to reach up towards the ceiling. So kind of like you're stepping on the ceiling. Either way, whether you have the wall or not. The wall is gonna be a little more restorative option. This is a little more active. Both are fabulous for different reasons and for the same reasons because they're both an inversion. And if you don't have a lot of wall space in your house that isn't occupied, using a door is always a good option as well. If you want an even more challenging option, shoulder stands are a great pose to come into from here. So for your shoulder stand, you would start to lift your hips, walk your hands down your back, and kind of support your back with your hands. That's going to be an even more active version. So see what feels good for you. Either way, we're going to take about 5 more breaths in our inversion, letting the feet get over the head, over the heart. Let that blood start to move a little bit down the legs or up the legs. And then slowly start to draw the knees in towards the body. You can wrap your arms around your shins, give yourself a little hug, rock it out from side to side, make some circles. Maybe even lifting your head up off the mat, making a nice little ball. And then slowly lowering the head back down onto the mat. We're going to come into a fish pose. So extending the legs long, bring the forearms to either side of the body, and you're pressing up on the forearms. You're kind of lifting the upper body up, puffing the chest up a little bit. If it feels comfortable, let your head release back. If your neck doesn't like that, just keep looking forward. That's fine as well. But work on kind of opening up those shoulders and the chest. And then slowly go ahead and lower yourself all the way back down onto the mat. We're going to draw the knees in towards us one last time for one final twist. So go ahead and bring the arms out to either side of you, just like we did at the very beginning. Let the knees release to the right. Take a breath in, turn the head to the left. Maybe starting to close the eyes here. And really just letting the legs land wherever they want to. So we're not forcing them into any particular shape. Just let them naturally release to the right side, creating a nice twist through the back of the body. And notice how this feels compared to when you first came to this pose at the beginning of class. Maybe you feel a little more open, a little more able to twist. Maybe you just feel a little more tired. Either way is fine. On the next breath, start to bring the knees back through center, and we'll take it over to the other side so the knees release to the left. Your gaze can come to the right. Maybe a hand comes to the top of that thigh if it feels good. And then slowly starting to draw the knees back through center. We're going to find one final pose before Shavasana, Supta Konasana. Bringing the soles of the feet together, let the knees release to either side. So it's kind of like a butterfly pose, lying down. So bringing the hands either to your stomach or to the thighs, just allowing the knees to release down. Let the breath start to slow a little bit. The eyes can close if they're not already. And take one final scan of the body, noticing how you're feeling now compared to when you first came to your mat today. And also ask yourself what it is that you still need. We're going to come into our Shavasana in a moment. So notice what it is that you need to really feel comfortable in your Shavasana. Maybe it's a sip of water. I always suggest a blanket, although I doubt you need that today unless your air conditioning is on. But see what it is that you need for your Shavasana. Maybe it's a pillow, or maybe it's another stretch, one last little twist. So beginning to offer whatever it is that you need. Maybe you feel great where you are and you want to stay in the shape for the rest of class, that's fine. Or maybe you want to come into another shape for your Shavasana by extending your legs long, coming onto your side. Even sitting up is perfectly fine. Whatever feels good for you, that is what you're going to do. So start to transition into that final shape now. Once you arrive, you're going to let the eyes gently shut. Let the breath start to slow down a little bit. Let the body kind of melt into your mat. So imagine that you're just completely letting go, completely melting. You're really light, like you're floating right there on your mat. Taking up as much space as you need, maybe extending the arms wide or the legs wide. And just go ahead and allow yourself to enjoy this final pose of the evening for the next few moments. Slowly beginning to deepen your breath. Gently starting to bring your awareness back to your body. Starting with just moving your fingers and your toes, and then your wrists and your ankles. Stretching in any way that feels good. That could be arms coming overhead, knees bending in towards you. Take these last few moments here on your mat. Just say thank you to yourself for making yourself a priority, coming to your mat and just sort of shaking it off and breathing for an hour, doing something that's so good for you. When you're ready, you can slowly begin to make your way back up to a seated position if you're not there already, pressing your hands into the mat to lift yourself. Your eyes can stay closed as you bring your hands to heart center. As always, I am so grateful for all of you for joining me. I hope you have the most beautiful evening, beautiful weekend until I see you all again. Namaste. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful Thursday night.